Wow, that felt good. I sort of have this weird connection, I feel like, with the Metro, Love It or Leave It, that it's one of my first memories when I was a kid, was walking down where 66 is now and seeing where they were putting in the roads and seeing where they're putting the Metro. And I remember when I was like 7 thinking that there was a dragon living in the Metro at Roslyn. So there might be, I don't know. But so I've always had this sort of fascination with the Metro. I use it, and I do think that it's an interesting kind of correlation between the DC area kind of expanding out and having this sort of root system of the Metro. So I thought that was cool, and threw it together ended up being sort of an interesting, simple image that told a story pretty quickly. What does sustainability mean to me? I think it's just a state of mind, really, like a way of thinking. I think a lot of times it's sort of a loaded word because it speaks of, some people think it means being a complete monk and not using anything man-made. It's all natural. It's kind of a hype word for a lot of companies and people trying to sell things now and trying to move their own agenda. But I think, sustainability for me is just thinking about what you're using, thinking about what you're making, thinking about the way that you go about your daily life, and trying to do it in a way that is smart and you can sustain the way of life. You can keep going, and you're not making a huge impact on the people and the places around you. I think a lot of that comes from just also making smart decisions and reusing things and keeping things simple. Where do I like to go for inspiration? I don't know if I have a go-to place. A lot of the inspiration that I have just comes from, everyday life, just keeping my eyes open, keeping my ears open, and kind of absorbing what I see and the people around me, and getting ideas from, small things that you might not notice if you were really focused on one thing and just sort of keeping your eyes in one direction. So I think a lot of it just comes from the world around me, but also just going around to a lot of the museums and bookstores and public places around here is a great way to get inspiration. What do I think the world will look like in 20 years? Well, I hope it's a greener place. I think DC has a lot of good models for what the world could look like. I think there's a lot of green space. I know that I have friends that come up here from other places and are always amazed by the amount of trees and parks, and I think that's a really good model for what we need to see. It kind of scares me when you see some of these big urban shopping center areas that just sort of pop up around the landscape that are only accessible via highways and cars. So I'm hoping that obviously it's going to be a hard road ahead, but there people want to see that kind of thing. People want to have places that they can go to and just be among good people and nature and not feel overwhelmed by concrete. So I'm hoping that we'll see more of that in the next 2 decades.